You know that feeling when you can't sleep, where you lay in bed for hours, waiting for your body and mind to slip into slumber, but you just can't? I used to get that nightly. It started in grade 4, when we moved into this house. I would lay awake for hours and hours a night, drifting in and out of sleep, and sometimes through my bloodshot eyes and tired ears I would see and hear things, unexplainable things, shadows that shouldn't be there, whispers coming from unseen lips, and always, above all else, I remembered the darkness. No matter how long I would lay there in the dark, my eyes never seemed to adjust. The other side of my room was a black abyss, until I would turn on my bedside lamp. My parents always told me that I just had an overactive imagination, and that was reading too many horror comics. But it felt too real to be fake. As the years went by, I got more and more used to it, and almost fell into a routine. It seemed like the more I accepted that I wasn't going to get a good night's sleep, the easier it was. Of course, there were still bad nights, but where it felt where there was something hovering over me in the darkness, something just out of reach that wouldn't go away. But overall, it was easier. By the time I was about 15, I was starting to sleep regularly, unhindered by insomnia. There was still the calm darkness, but it somehow seemed to calm, and over the years seemed to grow more and more dormant. That is, until I decided to move. I was 18 years old, and it was the last semester before graduation. I was getting pretty excited for the summer and university life, a chance to get out of my own, away from my parents and that house. It was weird. Almost as soon as I started talking about moving across the country for school, things started happening again. I would have walked into my room, and posters would have peeled right off the wall. My closet door always seemed to be open, and light bulbs would burn out every couple of days. I tried to shake these things off as odd coincidences, but then the insomnia started again. It was like I was 10 years old all over again, and the things that I had pushed to the back of my mind for years awaited me in the darkness of each night. I started to come to school sleep-deprived and haggard. I constantly had bags under my eyes and had a lot of trouble concentrating in class. Eventually my grades started dropping and my teachers and parents started to become concerned. My parents were convinced I was doing drugs or something like that. I just told them I had been sleeping poorly. They told me it was no excuse to slip in school, and I was spending far too much time online with my friends. I finally managed to limp my way through graduation, and even got accepted to a decent school that was reasonably far away. The closer and closer I got to moving away from school, the worse my sleep got. On the rare chance I would actually fall asleep, I was plagued by nightmares, usually of me being chased, or locked up in chains unable to escape. Finally, the day came, and I hugged my parents goodbye at the airport and boarded my plane to freedom. The first night in my dorm room was glorious. I slept like a baby and woke up completely refreshed. My first week of classes went great. My courses seemed cool. I met a ton of new people, and even got my cute lab partner's number. Then one night, I woke suddenly and with no apparent reason. I looked at my clock. It was 3:03 a.m. I had to be up in a few hours for an early class, As I lay in bed trying to get back to sleep, I stared at the black shape of the towel hanging from my door, thinking how it looked like a person. A few minutes passed, then I slowly realized I don't have a towel hanging on my door. And just like that, the darkness enveloped my room. It started again. I'm so tired.